to meet your death as your captain did. I admire your loyalty, and I accept your challenge, humans.
It's really not a panel if Ken doesn't bust out his Klingon lines.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's what we're here for. Thank you so much for that question. Sir, how are you?
Hey there, Jayne, I have a question for you. I'd like to know, you work with Jason. How are those scenes to work with him? Because he's a consummate actor.
It was great. I worked with Jason first when I did, when I went on Discovery, and it was an interesting relationship, wasn't it? We all know now why. I did know, I think, when I started, but yeah, Jason was great to work with. He was great to work with.
You did know that? You did know that?
I think, it's so hard to remember exactly, but I think I did know.
I'm like so naive.
But but you're playing the scene, so you just leave it out of your head and play the scene. He was the man that I had known for years and who I was so deeply fond of, and
Yeah.
I mean, the greatest thing about Jason is he is so passionate and dedicated to what he does, and I think that comes through his performance.
Did you know that?
Actors.
Did you know that when you got the script, when you were doing that? Or how did you find that out as you were doing it?
Find out about Jason's reality. I hope there's nobody here. I'm trying to be very
spoiler alert, guys.
Apparently somebody yesterday hadn't watched them the whole first season, but I think that they had talked to me through it. Yeah. So I won't spoil it. Yeah, I think they had talked to me about it, but I just put it in a different compartment in my head.
Yeah.
And just played it as, the real.
Like he was a real just forgetful jerk.
The real.
Can I just say,
And wondering why, he was acting.
Yeah.
how sexy were those scenes? I mean, Jayne Brook, come on.
Look, I loved it. And I also enjoyed the fact that he slept with a phaser under his pillow, which is exactly James Bond sleeps.
Yeah.
James Bond sleeps with a gun under his pillow, and I think Jason Isaacs should have gotten a go. He'd be a hell of a James Bond.
That made me mad, though.
Okay, next question, sir.
Notice that at all that Discovery has that priority?
I mean, absolutely. I think diversity takes a lot of different forms, and we're trying to embody all of them. It's not, I think there's just room for every sort of inclusion and diversity. And actually, I was on the Women in Star Trek panel earlier this week, and Eliza Pearl was saying that it's not just about the visual diversity, or just having someone in the room. It's about listening to them and about hearing their perspective, and that is what I think we really embody, and that comes from Sonequa all the way around to everyone behind the scenes. And I am really proud about what we've done with that and what we're continuing to do, and I think, making that a priority as we move forward is something I'm really proud of.
But I'm not sure that we as actors, when we arrive on the set and we meet the director, we just go, oh, cool, that's the director, and then they direct us. I don't think we really put in our mind, that's an African-American director, that's a white man, there's a woman, and we're not part of the decision process on the directors, but I think they are trying.
You would hope television works so fast that when you meet the director, you just pray that he's good.
Yeah.
Because there's really no chance to stop and reboot. I mean, it's once you start doing an episode, you got to realize with television, any kind of medium now, we are shooting at the speed of light.
Yeah.
And so the fact is that the trust that you need to put into the hands of the director. Listen, he's the guy running the thing, and if he gives us a note, we better take it, because he's the guy in charge or the girl in charge.
Yeah.
And you just hope that there's a quality that will end up making us look good, because the fact is we're the ones that are up there.
Yeah. And I think it's important too to realize that just, I think that seems to be a thing that's going on currently. I think there is a push for diversity in the director spot in television, and I think that it's an excellent thing. I think it's a perspective that we need. It's sorely been lacking, and I think us white dudes have had a long time of being prioritized. So I think there's room for everybody, as the Bridge of the Enterprise told us many years ago. Thank you very well. Hello, welcome back. Your question was great last time. What is it this
Thanks.
time?
It's pretty much the same question this time.
I loved it, and I'd like to hear their answers. Go ahead.
For new actors, so whether your experience with the franchise has been only for a season so far, well, I'm filming next season, or on and off for 50 years, you guys all have a unique perspective and experience with the Star Trek franchise. So I'm just curious, what's been the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
That's a good question. What have you guys learned by taking part in this massive franchise, this freight train that's moving at warp 9.75 without you or with you?
Something that comes to mind is just following the love, embracing this entity. You guys are so infectious, and this whole family is just amazing, and I'm just along for the ride. I feel like a little small part of it, but and I've giving it my all. I don't want to fail anyone, and I just want to keep being passionate as passion comes to me. And so that's just something that came to my mind when you asked that question.
The power of you guys, because the producers can have an idea and the actors can have an idea, but the fact is over time, you guys, I remember the letter writing campaign. And I remember the various incarnations. And then when the decision was made of let's not just hassle with network television, let's move on. You guys drove that. And never before had I really been involved with anything where it was like, geez, they're listening to the fans. And that's what I've learned, because since I was a little kid, George Lucas, the first thing he said to me, I was at an audition, and I was auditioning for a role as an adult, and he looked at me and went, Commander Baylock, Corbinite maneuver. And I thought, Jesus, George, get a life. I guess he did have a life. Yeah. But listen, the ideas are wonderful that Star Trek is cultivating, but you guys are the ones that support it.
Yeah.
So, and you guys have helped shape it. Listen, they haven't shaped it. They're listening to you, so keep your voices really strong.
Yeah, and I honestly, off of Clint's point there, it speaks to you guys that CBS is now exploring this franchise in a way that they're producing now the second season of Discovery, and also this thing with Patrick Stewart would never have happened if it wasn't for all of us shuffling off to Vegas each year going, please, we'll take it. Give us the content. We need to see more space adventures. Thank you very much for your question. Hello, how are you, sir? What is your question?
I'm fine. This question is for the Klingon actors. We have 51 years of Klingon backstory and characters and interpretations. What was the process behind creating a different voice and attitude for Klingons versus what we'd seen before?
Well, once I was cast in the role, I was like, I want to watch every episode ever. And then I was like, well, okay, how can I at least streamline this a little bit? And I went and I found the comprehensive list of all the Klingon-centric featured episodes, including holograms, anything that had any Klingon in it. There's a list online on the Wikia page. So I just started chronologically, so with Enterprise and then all the way through. I had seen the iterations before that point, but this was, how I started on my quest. And even though most of those series take place after Discovery, it was so great, and particularly with Worf and Deep Space Nine, really getting to see a lot of that cultural background. And I was actually saying earlier in another thing, just how I think our huge goal was to ingest that and let it manifest on an even deeper level and find what that culture was, and that their belief system is so strong, and that they are truly alien and have a different perspective that is valid. And yeah.
But as far as the voice, for me, I saw the prosthetics. Cole had this thick neck and giant jaw, and I thought, I can't just sound like this, like, hey, Laurel, can I have your ship? No! Laurel, please.
Hey, we're gonna kill all the humans.
Hey, Volk, come on, give me your ship. Laurel, Volk, I think that I will take that ship now. So I just felt like I had to change it somehow. I had to bring it down, and then also when the teeth arrived, you put the teeth in, and it just my teeth literally arrived on my doorstep. I opened up my door, and there was a box, and I opened up the box, and it said Kenneth Mitchell Klingon teeth. And I picked up the box and I put them in my mouth, and all of a sudden it's not this anymore. It's different. It's
So great.
It's terrifying because it like reverberates and it goes through the hall.
Right. I will say, I've told this story before, but the first time, for episode 4 was the first time that I interacted with Cole. And I remember we were over at Shazad's apartment, it was the 3 of us, and we just were trying to run through, and that episode was entirely Klingon, and Ken, looking like himself, just drops into this voice, and I remember like, oh, that's Cole. Okay, great. But it was awesome because I felt that there was a distinction between all of the Klingon characters, and certainly, with Laurel, finding something that echoed what I'd heard female Klingons have in the past, but really finding what that dialect, I worked with Rhea, the dialect coach, with finding sounds that existed in the Klingon tongue that would transfer in a certain way. And so it was really fun to find that we all got to find our own, and we're all from different houses and paths, so it,
So what about looping? Did you guys have any problems with a lot of looping?
Yes, I ADR'd 98% of my lines.
Wow.
Explain.
Yes. Oh, yeah, ADR. So that's when they go, you get a call, and they say, hey, we need you to loop for episode 8 or whatever, and you go...
After you've worked for like 14 hours on some other episode.
Yeah. And you go in, but they, and our sound editing team is nominated for an Emmy. I was so thrilled to see that, because I will say John Mead, who's the head, and their entire team, every time you go in with me, it's like, obviously most of my scenes are like pretty intense emotionally or physically or all of the above, and so I have to get in this place. Like, I come in with my yoga pants and like my workout clothes, and I take my shoes off, and I'm like, and they have like a stress bar if you need, like episode 12 when I was sobbing over Tyler, I had to completely re-record that. So I'm like in there going, okay guys, I'm just or whatever.
Who was that? What was it? Just that you threw the teeth? And what do you put the teeth back on to do the ADR?
No, you don't. No. Don't do that. Well, what at least served for me was that the dialect and the accent, and I just warm up a lower register of the voice, that you don't feel like you're not hearing the teeth when I'm doing without the teeth. The big thing is that, and particularly with the more intimate scenes, I had to ADR more because you can hear the prosthetic a little bit. The ones where we're speaking in Klingon or giving commands, those are the ones that you don't usually have to re-record, but it's when it's just a little bit more quiet.
And something I gave you guys credit for on After Trek, but I just wanted to say it again here, the way that you both, when you spoke English on the show, you were doing so with a Klingon accent. Yeah. So you just sort of like did the realism. Yes, I mean honestly, it's amazing. Like, because you guys had to sit there and sort of think like, okay, now as a Klingon, how would I speak?
Yeah, and it really, as Ken was saying, the visual, representation. You look in the mirror and it has to be, something other, and it really, just everything about the transformation just helps you feel centered in the character. It's a lot of challenging stuff, but if I didn't have all those components, I don't, that creature wouldn't exist.
Was it similar for you, Jayne? Like when you zip up a admiral's uniform, did you go like, all right?
I better talk. Well, I don't know. My voice is already deep. I don't have to do anything. I'm amazed at what they do. I'm amazed.
They do. It's amazing. It's like acting upon acting. It's like somersaulting around you while you're acting.
Mine's more that I have to try to make sure that I have a presence that's believable as the Admiral. I have to walk, and sometimes, you're sort of relaxed and you walk into the room and you realize, I am so not being the, I have to embody it. So I had to try to think of the physical.
You should just always walk into a room thinking I can take command of this vessel anytime I want. So if things aren't going right, I have the ultimate thing. Thank you for your question, sir. Hello, what is your question?
Hi. Hello, Mary, Jayne, Kenneth, and Clint.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. This is really a pleasure. It's really a treat. I'm having so much fun. Thank you all for coming out, and I hope this won't be your last. I hope you'll visit us. And Clint, I have a question for you. I feel like...
Over here, Clint. I know, you're looking at the light. They're both lit up.
She's standing there by the microphone.
They're right here.
I don't have good glasses anymore.
It's okay. We'll be your glasses, Clint.
Clint, thank you for always showing up, for us Star Trek fans. And I have a feeling after that speech you just gave that you're actually one of us. You're a huge Star Trek fan. Not only do you act in the shows, that you're also a fan. Is that true?
I respect the show. Listen, I've been watching entertainment and being entertained by ideas for a long time. I really admire Gene Roddenberry and what he did.
Yes.
He was a showrunner for a Western the year before Star Trek came out. So, he knew about story. These were universal ideas. Now, it morphed into a science fiction futuristic thing, and I think Gene always had that in his mind. But there is a skill to storytelling, and I appreciated it. I like the silly episodes of the original Star Trek. I like the silly episodes of Bonanza, when things got goofy with Hop Sing. So it's the appreciation. Listen, do we know what's going to happen in the future? We all have dreams. We don't know.
I do.
You do?
Well, you watch the documentary.
Are the Pirates going to win tonight?
Kenneth, if that's true, get your ass to the sports book.
Yeah. I just feel like that it's there. That the stories and the journey for the various the crews and the vessels and the eras which the show happens in. It all started from one idea, which was a really interesting thing. These guys on a ship, and they were buddies. The dock, and it was just, it worked then, and it can continue to work. And as long as it's good stories, and that's what I appreciate about the show.
Yes. It became more than wagon train in space. I think we have time for one more question, and then I have a little announcement.
All right. So there's some awesome, you were just talking about it, storytelling in all of Star Trek, and I was really impressed with Discovery. I love it. I was wondering if you guys had any favorite sci-fi authors?
Are you guys readers? Do you guys dive deep into the Asimovs of the world? Because if not, quite frankly, I can give a list.
I would love to hear your list. My favorite's Ray Bradbury, personally.
There you go.
Oh! Well, yeah.
Jules Verne was pretty good.
Jules Verne's great. Jules Verne, Ray Bradbury, Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke. You guys will follow me after the panel, and I will give you my Audible list of recommendations.
Thank you.
Also, use the promo code EXCELLENT. Anyway, that's for my wife's podcast. Anyway, okay, guys. I'm going to, if you follow the Star Trek Instagram handle, though you might have seen this announcement earlier, but guess what, everybody? The CBS game show Let's Make a Deal is teaming up with Star Trek for a very special episode. That's right, guys. The Star Trek special is going to shoot September 8th in Los Angeles. This is one of Let's Make a Deal's big specials of the year, so they're going to have the giant cash prizes, and there's going to be very unique Star Trek experiences and very special surprises, guys. So you're not going to want to miss this. You can dress in your favorite Star Trek gear, head on down to, I believe they shoot it at Sunset Gower, I believe is where they shoot that, but don't take my word for it, it'll be on the website. Dress your favorite Trek gear for your chance to win big, and for tickets, guys, you're knowing about this first, so you have a chance to hop on the website first and get the tickets early. Go to cbs.com/tickets and check out Let's Make a Deal's Facebook page for more info. The tickets are limited, but your chances of winning if you get in there are great. Follow up to that, we're gonna make it even better, guys. You could win a trip for two to Los Angeles and the taping of Let's Make a Deal. I love this host stuff. This is really a lot of fun. Would you like to win a contest, guys? Would you like? Yes, okay. There is a sweepstakes that is running. It is, go to at CBS All Access or at Star Trek CBS on Instagram and tag a friend in the post. That's all you have to do, guys. You just tag a friend in your Instagram post and you will be entered. All you have to do is get it in before August 13th, 2018. So, you're out there on the floor, take a picture of your buddy in a fun uniform, tag at CBS All Access and at Star Trek CBS before Monday, August 13th, 2018, and you could be making a deal, Star Trek style. It's gonna be good, guys, come on. I know we're all on YouTube watching those old videos of the Weakest Link Star Trek episode, remember that? That was a good time. Oh, check it out, if you're on YouTube, it's gonna be a hoot. Anyway, so this is sure to be just as enjoyable for fans to watch over and over again. Now, guys, I feel that our time, sadly,
Thank you.
is oh.
Good night.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke. It's my time. Am I crazy or not? What time are we running until?
Apparently now.
Thank you.
I guess so.